Hey guys, it's Rebecca, and I wanted to make a little informational video for everyone, especially ladies, but not limited to ladies. For anyone who's had weight loss surgery or just lost a whole bunch of weight in any way, I just wanted to let you know my experience with something that happened recently and just let you know that it may happen to you. Um, in September, I went for my yearly mammogram. And they saw what they called an asymmetry on the left breast. And they said, it could be tumors, but they wanted to be sure. They called for my previous mammogram, which was taken last year, which was still after I lost all of my weight. And the previous mammogram showed the spots, but they were a little different, like they changed a little bit. So they decided they wanted to repeat the mammogram on the left breast. Exciting, right? And possibly do an ultrasound if further tests was needed. So, my first initial response to this was panic because my mother was my age, 39, when she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she passed away 2 years later at the age of 41. So, of course, the first thing that pops into my head was, oh my goodness, no way. Um, and of course, I cried. I was scared. But then once the shock kind of wore off, I started thinking about it. It's like, well, when my mom had cancer, you could look at her breast and you could see, it was in her right breast, and you could see the cancer in the right breast. You can tell that right breast was ill. The left breast looked normal and the right breast didn't. And I'm not going to go into all the details and everything, but visually you can just tell. Um, Now, granted, my breasts aren't beautiful, perky breasts because I lost so much volume in my breasts when I lost the weight. They do sag like a couple tea bags, but they don't look sick, you know. So that's one thing, it's just kind of like, well, maybe it's not something bad. And then I started thinking, well, I lost all this weight and maybe that's contributing to the spots on them. And then, I also was diagnosed at around the age of 14 with fibrocystic change. So it could have been any of these things. So I kind of calmed myself down and started thinking, well, we're not going to panic yet. We're just going to relax and just find out what's going on. So I went in for another mammogram on that breast and over a dozen compressions. Don't do it. I mean, really, don't put yourself through this if you don't have to. Because let me tell you, it's painful. I'm not going to lie to anybody and try to sugarcoat anything. I guess you all know me by now. It's not for sissies. But this one was digital. It was a machine that's only a year old, so it's like the latest and the greatest technology and everything. And she had my old films from the previous two mammograms on a light behind her, and she was able to compare the digital right in front of her with the previous films. And she was like, well, what they're seeing here kind of looks like spots, but it's not like that on my screen. And she's showing me, she's like, I hope it makes you feel better, but I don't think you have anything to worry about. I don't think there's anything wrong with your breast. But, keep going, keep taking different angles of the breast. I'm like, great, this is painful. But, she did what she had to do. And she brought it to the radiologist right away because I didn't have to wait on films to develop, which is really cool. And I had my answer within 5 minutes that it was overlapping tissue, benign overlapping tissue as a result of the weight loss. So this is why I'm doing this video, because I want you ladies to know that if something comes up on a mammogram, like I had, this asymmetry in the breast, don't panic too soon. Cancer has its own symptoms. I mean, you're going to feel sick, you're going to feel fatigued, you might have a discharge or a crust from your nipple. You might have dimpling and caving in of the breast. I mean, it's gonna look like something's wrong, and it's gonna feel like something's wrong. A breast a tumor in the breast feels like a very hard knot. It's not like a lump that you get, like, you know, the softer lumps with fibrocystic or the thickening. It's a definite hard, you know. So I just wanted to let y'all know that this is possible with weight loss. And I don't know if my surgeon even knew that this is possible. I do have an appointment coming up with him in January, and I will be letting him know this. That way he can um, let his lady patients know, or and maybe even the men. I mean, I don't know. Maybe men go through this too if they had a lot of fatty tissue around their chest before surgery or whatever. But yeah, I mean, amazing. You know, I just wanted to put this out there and let you guys know that it happened to me, and it very well could happen to you. So just, I mean, unless you really have true symptoms of cancer, don't panic too quickly, because it might just be, you know, as a result of losing a lot of weight and losing a lot of breast tissue. Who would have known? So anyway, on to the next thing. My weight has been kind of between 115 and 120, but closer to the 120 mark, and I'm extremely happy at this weight. Um, I struggled to get back to this weight. Actually, I'd lost way too much before, but yeah, I'm really happy at this weight. So, as always, I welcome comments, suggestions, questions, subscribers, and I hope everyone has a blessed day.